Hey everyone, for today's Halloween video we're going to be doing dog painting. For this you're going to need canvas or maybe some really thick card, something that paint isn't going to soak through, peanut butter, non-toxic paint, Ziploc bags and then some paintbrushes. I personally think they look better when they've got a bit of a background, so I'm after already painting these two canvases in advance, one just black and one red and yellow that kind of merged in the middle to make kind of like a sunset style thing. What you're going to do is you're going to take your paintbrush and you're going to just blop on the bits of paint all over the canvas. You don't need to do any sort of pattern on it if you don't want, but you can if you so wish. I just decided I was going to do 3 random blops of colour all over. Make sure it's not just a flat blop. It needs to be like a drip. Like you can see that it's like a dome of paint, because you don't want it to be so little that it's not going to get smudged around. You want there to be enough paint that your dog can squish it whichever which way they want. Next, you're going to take a Ziploc bag and you're going to just spread it out a bit so you don't smudge your paint accidentally. And you're going to put your canvas in as gently as possible. I think I still ended up accidentally smudging it slightly. Accidentally. And you're going to get rid of as much air around it as you can, and you're just going to seal it up. The reason you want to get rid of the air is because you don't want the dog to accidentally burst it by stepping on it or trying to pick it up and run off with it. And also you don't want your canvas to just start rattling around in it, because then your dog isn't painting, your canvas is just falling everywhere. So you just want to make sure all the air around it is gone out as much as is possible, so that the paint is having the plastic just kind of sit on it, but it isn't being smudged, and that way your dog can be the one who's the master artist. Then, to bribe your dog into licking it and actually painting, you're going to get a knife, a butter knife, and you're just going to smudge little tiny bits of peanut butter around the place. Not on the paint specifically, because again, that'd just be you painting. You want your dog to paint. But just smudge even just little tiny bits all over the canvas where there's going to be little gaps in between. And then when your dog is licking up the peanut butter, they'll be smudging the paint around, so they'll be painting their own little picture. Make sure your peanut butter does not contain this thing I'm putting on the screen right now. It's a sweetener. It's very, very bad for them. It can kill them. Make sure it just doesn't have that. Pure peanut butter, or as close to pure as you can get, is the best thing you can do. So I can't pronounce it. I think it's pronounced like Xylitol or Xylitol. I'm not quite sure. But just make sure your peanut butter doesn't have that. And then obviously you don't have to use peanut butter. You could use gravy. You could use a little bit of smushed up wet food. It's just something that's going to get them licking it. I find peanut butter is the best though, just because it's so sticky that they lick at the paint for like quite a while. So you get like a nice smushed up painting. After that, it's really easy. You just make sure that your dog is ready to have some peanut butter, and you put down the canvas and they can lick away at it. Originally I was trying to hold it with my foot to make sure it didn't go flying around the place, but she actually figured it out herself pretty quickly, where she put her own foot on it to hold it in place. So you don't need to do that if you don't want, and especially if your dog is in any way food aggressive or possessive of resources like food, toys, etc. Maybe don't stick your hands or feet anywhere near it, because you might get a bit of a nip, even though they don't mean to. But no, you can see that she's painting it, and it's cool. And she smudged it in, like, she's combining all the different colours, and it's her own little piece of artwork. And again, just in the mindset of safety and such, when all the peanut butter is gone, distract your dog away from it so that you're not losing a finger. So I for Beauty with Food, I click, and she knows that means to back off towards where I'm clicking. And that way I'm able to pick up something, because when I did get her, she was pretty iffy when it came to food. She would be inclined to snap or to bite to guard it. So just make sure you're not going to lose a finger or something along those lines. Another interesting thing with non-toxic paint that you can do if you want is you can actually do their paw prints. So you could do this sort of painting on the front, let it dry, and then turn it over and get their paw print like an artist's signature on the back. And then when they've got their signature on the back, you can just put the date underneath, and that way you'll be able to remember the Halloween we did paintings, or you could do Christmas colours around Christmas, or you can do whatever other colours there is. I don't know the other colours that are used for other holidays. I only care about Halloween, and I just used all the colours I had for this. It wasn't a very Halloween-y thing, but it's fun anyway. Once your dog is done, you can then take out the canvases. So you open the Ziploc bag and lift it straight up, so that you're not going to smudge it or ruin it. So you just lift it straight up as best as you can with either end. And once it's off the canvas, you can then just slide the canvas out, and you have your painting, and it's all done. And your dog is now an artist. It is official. They are Pablo Picasso. I just really like these paintings because they're cute and I can hang them up and someone will be like, oh, did your little cousin make that or something? I'm like, no, it was my dog. My dog made it. Aren't they great? Once they're out of the Ziploc bags, you can sign and date them and then just put them to one side to dry. So again, they're non-toxic, so if a little bit of paint is around the place, it's washable. You can just wash it off. It's easy to fix. And if a little bit is on, say, her paws, or if the edge of the bag burst and there was a little bit on the floor that she licked, it's not a massive deal. If you're concerned, you can always call your vet and just ask what the story is, because again, I'm not a vet, so I can't say 100%, but they're non-toxic. That's why we get the non-toxic ones, just in case, because some dogs might get a little bit too enthusiastic about the peanut butter and try and rip the bag to eat it. So we obviously do not want that. Sign and date the pieces on behalf of your pup and you are done. You can also do this exact same thing with snakes and lizards and stuff, but obviously not peanut butter. You'd want to just put lots and lots of blobs of paint, cover it in the Ziploc bag and just let them run across it. So that's it for this video. Thank you very much for watching and I will see you in the next Halloween video.